Hi guys. I thought I might just go over some of the more advanced features of using Adobe XD. I've got a little document up here that I'm just wanting to show you. It is using some of this functionality that we'll be talking about in this lesson. It's the auto animate feature, as well as creating overlays and different things like that. So okay, that's where we're going, and I would just like to jump straight in. So I've already set up a little document here by way of illustration, and we'll be pulling this apart and working with this thing here. This is simply a series of graphics that I've copied and pasted from Illustrator. The same would be absolutely true if I was to copy images and any other type of graphic into the program. I'm just using Illustrator graphics, so let's get started. First things first, you want to be reusing these graphics. These same graphics will appear across the document. So nothing new. We're reusing graphics, a bit like symbol instances. So what I'm going to do is kind of duplicate this page, and I could create a new artboard over here, but easiest and probably the most efficient way to do that is just to hold your Option key and Shift Option even, and to drag that down like so. Then we know they're identical, and that's sort of really the method. Copy that artboard, so we know they're the same graphics. And what we do from here, we are simply going to change the properties of a particular graphic on screen. So I can essentially move this graphic here. Perhaps I might move that graphic perhaps a little bit over there. So I'm just going to nudge him off the screen. There's a little bit of a trick, if you like, here. You want to make sure that this graphic is still associated with this page. It can drop off the page a little bit, like if you go too far. He's grayed out, he's still on that page. I can see him there, but he's grayed out. That's what you want. Okay, and maybe I'll pull him down here. Maybe my big dinosaur's here to start with. Because I'm just changing, whoops. He's on that page. Move him off just to the screen there. That looks like it might work. He's just there. He wants to be just there. That's better. So now he's still associated with the page. You can in fact change the colors of objects. So as long as it's a vector graphic, you can literally change the color of an object to be, a different color. So I might just have that graphic off to the side there, and just reusing the graphics that I have on screen, changing the position of this thing. It's there, and I'm changing that color up a little bit. So, and we're just changing this timeline. This is a really wide piece of Illustrator vector, so I can just have that at that particular point in time. So the graphics are all just on screen, but their properties have changed, or their positions and their opacities and things like that have changed. Cool. So I'm going to repeat the deal here. I'll create a third page down here, and you're now rearranging the graphics that you're using. Okay, so maybe he shoots off to this point over here, and I could use, as I said, I could use opacity as well if I wanted to. He might come on. Maybe in the journey of him coming on, he goes darker. Maybe this guy maybe he shoots up there. It's all a bit of planning. There's that little thing again. So he's on the screen, and just so that he's off screen. He wants to be associated with this page. That's just kind of important. Okay, little change here. Okay, so that's sort of okay. Just for the point of the exercise, it's not brilliant, but I've just got something going very, very quickly. All right, so I've got some different positions for the same graphics that I'm using. All right, so I'm happy enough with that for now, just for the demo. What you need to do then is to hook it up, and you need to create the interaction. And that's really pretty simple. So you need to be in the prototyping area, and as you know already, anything on the page that you click has the potential to be a button. So in my case, maybe I'm going to use the page itself, the entire page itself, just so anywhere on the page I click is the button. So clicking and dragging. And the key to this is that you want this to be an auto animate. It's got to be auto animate to achieve that morphing effect. Auto animate, okay? You can change the kind of way that it does its morphing. So it can snap, wind up, or bounce, or do any of these other things. I'm going to go with wind up. Okay, so I'll just continue through here. This page goes to the third page. He's going to wind up, and it tends to remember the first time you do something, it tends to remember it, but that's very good. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then certainly I need to return home here, like so. All right, now you can see I've done this little navigation system on the side here. Again, good user experience. You really do want to make sure that you have multiple ways, or very clear ways for your user to get around the document. And so I'm sort of setting up a secondary type navigation system. You know, this, I could also set up a home page or a home button, if you like. Anything like that would serve to, you know, allow my user to sort of have complete control of the experience. So that there, and also with these buttons, I can click on that guy, and instead of me clicking and dragging, I can actually choose, you know, home, or from, if I'd have named these correctly, I could have clicked that button to take me home, but I didn't name my artboards. It's not really a good practice, but yeah, name your artboards if possible. He's home, he's there, and I think we're good. So pretty keen to see how this turns out. So let's have a look. So we've got the auto animate feature set up. So let's shoot. Let's see how we've gone with this. Page to page. There's my auto animate feature sort of happening. Okay. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but for 5 minutes work, it's not too bad. So we've got that going. All right. So that's not bad so far. What I want to do now is address this idea of having an overlay, this sort of artboard. I want to be able to click on this bird, pterodactyl maybe. I want that to cause that little artboard to sort of pop into a position. All right. So I'm going to nominate that bird to go to that artboard. Now, to do what I'm doing, you need to create an artboard. You want to be in the design. You want to create an artboard, you know, add your text in here, give it a background color, that kind of thing. But it's got to be an artboard for this to work. But I've already got one set up, so I'm not going to redo that. So that bird in the prototyping tool has to go to that artboard. And the change here is that I want this guy, for the overlay to occur, I want this guy to be an overlay. Okay, so he's my overlay, and he's going to drop into some position that I sort of say. Now, this green box is giving an indication of where it will be. I don't see my red background here, so it's a bit of a trick of the program. I need to go back to this artboard, check that box, go back to prototype, and then when I click this bird, I should see that he's going to slide into this position. Okay, so I've got to tell it to, you know, do some particular, you know, transition. I think maybe I want it to slide down right there. So it's trial and error with all these things. You hardly ever get it right the first time. So that's all good. underneath my play button. I'll go from page to page. Looking good. I'll go back to my home page. And there's my drop down. Very cool. All right, that's great. One more thing to do. Let's say you're in a gallery or you're, museum or something like that. And you click a button and we want to have some sort of playback, some voice speech playback. And that's what this next little piece is about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my prototype tool selected. Click on this big prototype, this little pterodactyl. I don't know what he is. He's something. I want speech playback. Okay. Now, I haven't actually got a bit of text, except maybe I can grab this bit here. So I'm just going to copy that bit of text from there. And so back to our critter here. Him. Speech playback. Paste in the text. Let's go with, we'll go with Nicole. So when I click on that button, a speech playback will occur. So let's try that. Go back to the start, hit the run button, play. There's my drop down. Beautiful, that's going great. Page 2, page 3, back to page 2.
Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 160 million years, from the Triassic period around 230 million years ago through the Jurassic period and until T.
I'm impressed. That is good fun. I can't wait to see what cool stuff you guys come up with. I hope that helps, and I'll see you in class.